Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here with me. Today, we're going to delve even deeper into a subtle yet incredibly important topic, the silent signs of disrespect in our relationships. In the previous part, we discussed the key behaviors and signals that may indicate that someone in our environment is gradually ceasing to respect us. Today, we will broaden this perspective, take a closer look at specific examples, and consider why it's so important to be vigilant for these often imperceptible messages. Disrespect rarely appears suddenly and in an obvious form. It is often a gradual process that begins with small, seemingly innocent behaviors that escalate over time, undermining the foundations of a healthy relationship. Ignoring our opinions, disregarding our feelings, interrupting us mid-sentence, these are all small erosions that can eventually lead to a serious violation of our self-worth and emotional security. That's why it's so crucial to sharpen our perception and learn to read these silent warning signs before they manage to take deep root in the dynamics of our relationships. One of the fundamental silent signs of disrespect, which we have already mentioned, is constantly interrupting when you speak. This behavior can take various forms. Sometimes it's impatiently cutting in before we've had a chance to finish our thought. Other times it might be changing the subject with no connection to what we were saying, suggesting that our words hold no significance for the other person. Imagine a situation where we are enthusiastically talking about our new hobby, a passion that has absorbed us, and our interlocutor suddenly starts talking about their problems at work, not giving us a chance to finish. This is not only frustrating, but also sends a strong message that what is important to us is not important to them. Repeated interruptions can lead to a feeling that our thoughts and feelings are insignificant, that we don't deserve to be heard. Another subtle but significant sign is ignoring your requests and needs. In a healthy relationship, there is a mutual exchange, a willingness to support each other and respond to each other's needs. Disrespect in this area manifests when our requests are consistently ignored, belittled, or postponed indefinitely. This can apply to both minor matters and important issues where we need support. Think about a situation where we ask our partner for help organizing an important event that is stressful for us, and they respond evasively or promise help but never follow through. Or when we tell a friend that we feel lonely and need to talk, and they reply that they are busy and will call back later, which never happens. Such behaviors make us feel unimportant, and our needs are disregarded. Lack of interest in your life and feelings is another telling sign. Interpersonal relationships are based on mutual interest and curiosity about the other person's life. Disrespect in this area manifests through indifference to our experiences, a lack of questions about what is important to us, and a general lack of engagement in our joys and sorrows. Imagine sharing an exciting piece of news, a professional success you are proud of, with someone important to you, and the reaction is lukewarm, without enthusiasm or further questions. Or when we are going through a difficult period and try to confide in someone, and our interlocutor shows a lack of empathy and understanding, focusing on their own affairs. This makes us feel emotionally lonely and invisible in the relationship. The significance of disrespectful body language and tone of voice cannot be overlooked. Nonverbal communication often speaks louder than words. Eye rolling, sighs of boredom, a sarcastic smile, yawning while we are speaking. These are all subtle but very telling signs of disrespect. Even the tone of voice, patronizing, sarcastic, or indifferent, can hurt and undermine our self-worth. Imagine presenting your point of view in a discussion, and your interlocutor responds with a sarcastic comment or a patronizing tone, suggesting that your opinion is naive or irrelevant. These small gestures and nuances in tone accumulate and create an atmosphere of disregard and disrespect. Breaking promises and disregarding your time is another clear sign. Respect for another person is manifested, among other things, in respecting their time and commitments. Habitually being late without apologies, canceling meetings at the last minute without a valid reason, not keeping one's word, all of this shows that our time and our plans are not a priority for someone. If we feel that we constantly have to adjust to someone else's schedule and our flexibility is taken for granted, this is a clear sign that our needs are not respected. Think about a situation where we are waiting for someone for an agreed-upon meeting, and that person arrives late without apologizing or explaining. Or when we make an important appointment, and at the last minute, we receive a laconic message of cancellation without giving a specific reason. Talking behind your back and gossiping is a serious breach of trust and respect. If we learn that someone we trusted is talking negatively about us to others, undermining our reputation, or revealing our secrets, this is a painful and unequivocal sign of disrespect. A truly respectful person would never badmouth us behind our backs. Gossiping and spreading negative information is a form of manipulation and an attempt to discredit us in the eyes of others. Discovering that someone to whom we confided our secrets and shared our concerns has used this against us is deeply hurtful and destroys the foundations of the relationship. Belittling your achievements and trivializing your problems is another destructive form of disrespect. When someone cannot rejoice in our successes or dismisses our difficulties, we feel unimportant and unappreciated. Belittling our achievements can take the form of attributing them to luck, connections, or other external factors, rather than acknowledging our effort and talent. Trivializing problems manifests through statements that others have it worse, that we are exaggerating, or that our concerns are trivial. Such behaviors undermine our self-confidence and make us feel misunderstood and alone in our experiences. Moving on to more serious forms of disrespect, we must mention exploiting your kindness and manipulating you. In healthy relationships, there is balance and reciprocity. Disrespect occurs when someone systematically uses our willingness to help, our empathy, or our loyalty for their own benefit, giving nothing in return or even abusing our trust. Emotional manipulation, inducing guilt, playing on our emotions. These are all tactics used by people who do not respect our boundaries and our needs. If we feel exploited or manipulated, we must realize that we are dealing with a serious lack of respect that can negatively impact our mental health. Finally, lack of empathy and understanding is a fundamental lack of respect in a relationship. Empathy is the ability to feel into the emotions of another person, to understand their perspective, and to respond with care and support. When empathy is lacking in a relationship, we feel misunderstood, alone in our experiences, and our feelings are ignored or belittled. A person who respects us can look at the situation from our point of view, shows compassion in difficult times, and shares our joy in moments of happiness. Lack of empathy creates emotional distance and makes us feel rejected and unimportant. Before we move on to specific strategies for dealing with disrespect, I would like to once again encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you value content dedicated to building healthy relationships and taking care of your emotional well-being. Remember to click the bell icon to stay updated with new materials. Your likes and comments are incredibly important to me and motivate me to continue my work. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences, feel free to write in the comments. We are creating a supportive community here. So, what do we do when we recognize these silent signs of disrespect in our relationships? The first and most important step is to become aware of the problem and name it. We cannot solve something that we do not see or do not want to acknowledge. Then, open and honest communication is crucial. We need to find the right time and way to talk to the person whose behavior is bothering us. Express your feelings in a calm and assertive manner, avoiding accusations and focusing on specific situations and their impact on your well-being. During this conversation, it is extremely important to set clear and firm boundaries. We need to communicate what behaviors are unacceptable to us and what consequences their repetition will entail. Boundaries are essential for protecting our emotional space and sense of self-worth. Remember that you have the right to be treated with respect and do not have to tolerate behaviors that hurt or demean you. Unfortunately, our attempts at communication and boundary setting do not always yield the desired results. Sometimes the other person is not ready to change their behavior, belittles our feelings, or rejects our perspective. In such situations, we must make the difficult but necessary decision to prioritize our emotional health. This may mean limiting contact with that person, distancing ourselves, and in extreme cases, even ending the relationship that is destroying us. Remember that you deserve relationships based on mutual respect, trust, empathy, and support. Recognizing the silent signs of disrespect and responding to them is an act of self-care and protecting your worth. Do not belittle your feelings and do not allow others to undermine your value. Remember that you deserve respect in every relationship. Finally, I warmly encourage you to share this video with your loved ones, friends, and all those who you think might need this message. Knowledge about the silent signs of disrespect can help many people recognize unhealthy dynamics in their relationships and take steps to protect themselves. Thank you for your attention and for being part of this community. See you in the next video.